Today we're going to be going over if you want to play Rumi from Kpop Demon Hunters in D&D 5e, levels 1 through 12. And we're going to be going with the 2024 rules as much as possible with this, even though 2024 doesn't have Watcher Paladin yet, or Hexblade Warlock yet, officially. There's Unearthed Arcana for Hexblade Warlock, we'll get into it. But, doing the best we can here. So, for our background skill proficiencies, we're going with Athletics and Persuasion for our class. And then our background, we're gonna go K-pop star, kind of a custom background, but essentially you get +2 to your dex and +1 to charisma with proficiencies in performance and musical instrument. I think Rumi was playing a guitar in one of the scenes, so you can go ahead and pick a guitar, really whatever you like for the musical instrument. Species, we're gonna go human. Now hold on, you might be going, well Brandon, isn't she half demon? We're gonna get to that. Resourceful, you get 1 inspiration per long rest. Skillful, we're gonna go with acrobatics here, because we do see Rumi doing some cool acrobatics in the movie, and of course she's a dancer, gotta be able to dance. Versatile, we're going with the Fey touched feat for versatile. That's going to cover the kind of the half demon part of her, and you also being part of Fey touched, you do get Misty Step, which fulfills that sort of demon teleport thing we see her doing in the film. For stats, we're going Dexed in here, so we're prioritizing Dex and Charisma because we're a Paladin, and then we're gonna go Con, Strength, because Rumi does have Strength. I mean, we saw the biceps, and then ending it with Wisdom and Intelligence. I don't think Gurley is the smartest one in the room. So for Paladins level 1 and 2, we get our Lay on Hands, so we can keep going or we can heal other people. For our Spellcaster, we're going to go with Detect Evil and Good. We kind of see a version of that in the movie with them being able to see the patterns on demons and other people not being able to. Bless, in case people just need some encouragement or just need to help with being broken out of a demon's mind control. Bless will help with that. Weapon Mastery, we're going with a Longsword. Fighting style, we're going to use Great Weapon Fighting to help us out and get some damage with that. And then, of course, a Paladin Smite. Paladin level 3, we're finally going to take our Oath, which is going to be the Oath that we saw in the movie, where they can't show negative, they can't show faults and fears, which is really weird. Don't do that. Be open and communicate your feelings and thoughts. Wow, really brave of you, Brandon. For your Oath spells, we're going to get Alarm Detect Magic at level 3, and then later in level 5 we're gonna get Moonbeam and See Invisibility. For our Divinity now, we get Watcher's Will and Abjure the Extraplanar. With Watcher's Will, we're actually able to give our Charisma modifier to our allies and they have advantage on, or not, yes, they do have advantage on Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma saving throws. A la the last scene in the movie where Zoe and Mira kind of need some help with some saving throws on that front. Abjure the Extraplanar, you're going to be able to turn undead the Extraplanar in terms of it being unworldly beings, which will be really helpful in case there's some demons coming through the whole moon. Paladins level 4 through 6, you saw earlier kind of the Oath spells that we get. Really, for all your spells, I would just pour it in Smites. We don't really see a whole lot of spell work coming out of Rumi, so just put it on the Smites, because Smites are really fun, and it's fun to have a whole bunch of different Smites. We get an ability score improvement here, an extra attack, which will be really handy, and then a Faithful Steed, where you get to kind of summon something that you can ride. Maybe a blue tiger, maybe a goofy blue tiger who has OCD about upriding vases, one of the two. Level 6 Aura Protection, you're gonna get that Charisma modifier boosted around to helping your allies near you. Hexblade Warlock level 1 through 6. Actually, before we get right into Hexblade, I think a cool thing that you can do with the Paladin is you can go Oathbreaker. In the movie, she kind of goes against the bad Hunter's Oath, and I think that you can do a cool thing with swapping from Oath of the Watchers to an Oathbreaker Paladin, maybe, and switching your Oath to a different Paladin subclass. I think that could be a really cool story beat if you're trying to go for a real, like, Rumi-themed character arc with it. Now, Hexblade Warlock. We're going Hexblade because of Gina. So Warlock spells, you're gonna get Minor Illusion in case you need to pretty up before a show and you want to make sure that no one can see your wounds. Or we also see that demons are capable of doing Minor Illusions, so I figured why not give it to her. And then we're gonna go Hex, because Hex is just a really good spell. Invocations, we're going Pact the Blade. And then Elder Smite, because more smites. And then Magical Cunning, we're actually gonna be able to boost up those spell slots that the Warlock class gives us. So you get more smites. And now we get into the Unearthed Arcana for the Hexblade's Curse. Hexblade's Curse, it was still the same. I think you can curse a number of times equal to charisma modifier, except now you can kind of do 2 variations to it. Actually, it's just 2 different attributes. So when the target is killed during your hex, you regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus your charisma modifier. And then a Curse Shield. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain a +2 bonus to AC when you're within 10 feet of the target cursed by your Hexblade's Curse. We will be wearing armor, so a Curse Shield, not really going to help us out here. Unyielding Will is really helpful. It just basically gives us, whenever you succeed on a saving throw to maintain your concentration, you do like a little burst of necrotic damage to kind of creatures around you. And then if you fail a saving throw to maintain concentration, you can choose to succeed instead and gain a number of hit points equal to 1d10 plus your Warlock level. You can get that once per long rest. And then once we get to level 6, you get Malign Brutality, where you get more bonuses to your Hexblade Curse. Harrowing Hex, after you cast a level 1+ spell that has a casting time of an action, you can make 1 attack with a weapon as a bonus action. With Hexblade's Curse also, you can basically hex somebody as the Hexblade's Curse, which is really, really handy. And then you can still make an attack with a bonus action. Boom. Super helpful. Hindering Curse, when you hit the target cursed by your Hexblade's Curse, with an attack roll, the target has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes before the start of your turn. Really good. And Inescapable Hex, when the target of your Hexblade's Curse ends its turn 30 feet or further from you, you can move up to your speed straight toward the target, i.e. if your hot silly demon crush is running through a men's bathhouse, you're able to catch up to him very quickly, even though technically in a timeline of you subclassing into Hexblade Warlock at this level, he's kinda in your sword. Which, speaking of which, we get onto the sword. That like is the whole point of this Hexblade Warlock class, which I decided to call the Soul Blade. I made it a great sword because it's a big sword. I understand that we're going Dexedin here, so I've amended that. So I've given this thing finesse. You can shout at me if that's too OP. I don't really care. This is a fun little homebrew thing. You get +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls, and the damage dealt is radiant. Seeing that by the time you would probably get this blade, you would be level 7-ish. So decently high up in the levels. Sentient, Genu resides inside the blade with an intelligence of 14, a wisdom of 16, and a charisma of 18. I actually pulled these stats from my Genu NPC boss from my Saja Boys boss sheet. If you're gonna go check that out. And he has hearing and dark vision out of a range of 120 feet. Once a day, the way that she hit Guima with this thing, Soul Burst. So once a day, Rumi launches a 40-foot high pillar / a radiant energy in a 5-foot wide, 100-foot long line. Creatures in the line must make a dex save, taking 3d8 radiant on a failure and half on a success. So kind of like a radiant damage based lightning bolt almost, except it also reaches 40 feet vertically because that's how it looked in the movie. So if you want to play Rumi, I think this is a good place to start. Do you think that we should go something different? Maybe she, along the lines of making all 3 of the girls bards. Maybe she's a swords bard to Hexblade. That could work too. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. But otherwise, guys, that's all I got.